Right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at the Forex world very quickly. So yes, beautiful result here. I mean, look at this fantastic movement. Everything worked like a charm this week. I talked about this and I said to you, we had a fantastic drop initially on Friday, continued on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It all reverses back up from this 0.59 territory, a little bit slightly above that. We push higher. Then I said to you, look, if we do climb back above the 0.6025, I'm going to consider a slightly higher level, but I'm going to be careful with the 38.2, which is not like a little bit below the 0.61 zone. If it holds, another decline could be possible, but if it breaks, I will go higher. And there we go. Look at this move. Look at this beautiful move to the upside. We tested my upside line, the broken one, which I talked about previously. And so far, so good. Look, we're keeping an eye on the PPIs today, of course, but I would say at this point, I'm not really touching it. I really want to see what's going to happen here in terms of holding below this upside line. If it continues to hold somehow, I'm going to consider maybe something like this, and another maybe move back to the downside. However, we cannot exclude the upside scenario, so that's why I will keep an eye on this area right here. I will keep an eye on the this barrier right here, the 50-day EMA. If we can clear that one, which is at 0.6260, if we can clear that one, then great, more buyers could join in. AUD JPY, and yep, for now here it's look, it's a risk on, risk off environment monitor. And what we're seeing here right now, that we're staying below the psychological 90 territory. If we continue to trade below that, I'm going to continue targeting the downside. NZD USD. Now this one is a little bit better, to be honest. I mean, look at AUD NZD. I mean, this one you can see clearly that NZD is winning the battle here. The so-called the battle of the two risk currencies. They're the two commodity linked currencies. And yep, we are seeing a drop, a nice drop here to the downside. Actually, by the way, while I'm on the AUD NZD part, look at this. We're approaching this 1.0790 territory. Sorry, 1.0720 territory. This is a key area of support. If we do drop and stay below it, not only drop, but stay below it as well, then yes, further declines are possible. NZD USD, with the situation here, look, we had this week, we had the RBNZ. Where's that interest rate decision? There we go. They dropped the rate by 25%, 25 basis points. And in a way you would say, wow, this is like bearish. And it was initially bearish, but then it kind of stabilized because the US dollar has been on the weaker side, and this is kind of the main game plan here. Look, we're approaching key resistance, in my opinion. We are approaching this 200-day EMA together with the 0.5830 zone, which both of them had like played as strong areas of resistance recently. But again, if that gets cleared, then yes, I will go for some higher levels. But at the moment, I'm not in a rush because again, if DXY somehow stabilizes a little bit, let's say tries to pop back above the 100 zone, then NZD USD could kind of slow its acceleration. But if the US dollar continues to decline, then we could see this pair jumping nicely above the 200-day EMA. US dollar against the Japanese yen, that's exactly what I'm talking about here. So look at this. We cleared the 144.55 territory. I spoke about this area on Wednesday, and yep, so far so good. My next target is the 142.06, or in general the 142 zone, and then we'll take it from there. US dollar against the Canadian dollar, looking good here on the Canadian side. And look, this is something that the BOC, the Bank of Canada, was probably waiting for to happen naturally. And it's a kind of I think it was a big bet from their side, because again, they kept on cutting rates, and the Bank of Canada was one of those banks, and is still one of those banks that probably will, at this point, would just kind of sacrifice the currency and just kind of support the economy. And this is what we're seeing right now. So the US dollar is taking a hit, and yep, other major counterparts are enjoying their moments against that. So we, on the USD CAD side, we dropped below the 200-day EMA, and my next target on this one, well, this is where I need to search a little bit, but probably the 1.3822 becomes quite an interesting one for now, at least in the near term. US dollar against the Swiss franc, I mean, this is unstoppable to the downside at the moment. Look at this. I talked about this on Wednesday. We had a rebound. Yes, everybody was enjoying the moment, and but then the US dollar just keeps on falling like a fly, and I mean, this is just wow. So we were at the beginning of April, just last week, we were here. We were in this little range here. I talked about it. I said, look, be very careful, because this can, yeah, like, I mean, the theory went here when I was talking about this. The theory was that whenever we like start ranging, we look at the prevailing trend. The prevailing trend was to the downside. In that case, the greater chance for this one is to break out lower. And well, in this case, it worked out. But as I always say, wait for the breakout itself. And there we go. We got the breakout. We are moving nicely to the downside here. And wow, I mean, this is just, wow, spectacular. And I think I'm running out of data here. Let me just try to find another chart here from TradingView. There we go. So I'm going to jump into a monthly chart straight away. Look at this. This is a monthly chart, and look at the levels where we are. So back in 2020, we were here. Back in 2020, we were kind of just here. This was the drop in March. This is when kind of COVID started. Then we were seeing this, you know, these declines. Then we dropped the low. We found the low here in 2021 in January, and then we started pushing higher. Then, of course, back in 2023, 24, we had some up and down here, and we cleared. Now look at this. We cleared as the lowest point of December of 2023. Now, this is a monthly candle, but we have not finished the month yet. So don't get me wrong, this could still reverse back up. So if we do see a reversal back up here on the USD CHF, then basically this kind of points to a nice little false breakout, and maybe, just maybe, we could see this as a nice little double bottom pattern. But again, let's not rush into things. At the moment, we could see this as a range as well. But again, we need all now, like this, like I said, now we need to see the US dollar kind of strengthening back up here and pushing back above that 0.8332, 35 zone, somewhere around here, just kind of staying. We need to see the body of this monthly candle staying above this area, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, we're living through interesting times, in my opinion. I think that yes, if it does stay below this hurdle, well, that's not looking good here for the US dollar. Let's jump into Euro USD, and I mean, of course, the US dollar on the weaker side. That's what we're getting. Boom, boom. And did I tell you on Monday and on Wednesday? Look, what I need to do here is I need to wait for a break of that downside line, and then I'm going to go a little bit higher. Well, we went a little bit higher now, and I need to find now a good area of resistance, and what pops into my head is somewhere around here, near the 1.1483 or this 1.15. Basically, I think the 1.15 becomes the next good target. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see if that's going to be the case. If the 1.15 is going to be that nice good target, but again, I'm cautiously going on this one, because look, I'm not chasing. If I missed the jump, I would say, okay, I've missed the jump. Now I'm going to be looking for a possible retracement at some point. But look, am I getting the signals for a retracement? No, not really. Am I getting more signals towards more upside? Yes. However, it's, for me, it's very uncomfortable when I need to jump in, let's say at these high levels like these, because again, it could really easily reverse back down. So Euro JPY, beautiful push back up here. Yes, so far so good. This is working out like a charm here, and this is what I talked about. Hey, I'm not really going to invent anything else. I'm going to continue targeting the upside. Euro Aussie, beautiful retracement on Wednesday. And look at this. I talked about it on Wednesday. We were forming something of a shooting star. Then I said, look, keep your eyes on it. And then the market stabilized and we dropped. And then the market yesterday and today, everybody's, like I said, still feeling the heat and feeling worried. And that's why we're pushing back above the 1.82, 1.8121 zone. Yeah, so this is a key area of resistance which has been cleared. That's the highest point of April of 2020. Let's see if we can stay above this area this month. Euro CHF, very quick update here. Yes, the Swiss franc is the one that's interesting, and this is working out so far good. Yeah, as I said, my next target is the 0.92. I'm still aiming for that one. Euro GBP, by the way, there we go. The pound is not feeling the love, but the euro is. So look at this. Look, I don't look at the Euro GBP very often, but it's just that this one, yeah, it's just popping like crazy right now. Let's have a look at GBP USD, and there we go. We're pushing higher. We pushed above that psychological 130 zone. I talked about it, 1.3014, and the next good target here could be the current highest point of April, near the 1.3207. Let's see if that we can reach that one. Very quickly on CHF JPY, as I keep on calling it, the battle of the safe havens. Yesterday I just picked up on this one. I also threw out a piece here, the battle of the safe havens, when we were still in this little triangle, kind of a little squeeze here. I said to keep your eyes on some of these areas, and look at this. It worked like a charm here. I've almost reached my. I would say I've reached my target, and yep. What can I say? I mean, this is working out this is working out great. We broke the downside line. We cleared the 173 territory. We almost reached my 175.80 zone. All good. Now I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I'm not gonna touch it, and I'm just gonna wait for next week. To be honest, I'm gonna see what's gonna happen this week, because if on this week, let's say if we continue to trade above that 173 territory, that's great. Yep, more upside could come going into next week. Let's